My dear friends, we're going to play a beautiful song now. And before you run off, just stay with me. 2 minutes of your time, please. Please. Can you play these shapes? D, G, A7th, and a little abbreviated F, a little abbreviated C, and a G. If you can do those shapes, all right, which you can, I know you can, that's why I'm doing it on a Wednesday, you can play this particular song. Here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo-doo. Here comes the sun, and I say it's alright, etc. Of course, it's the beautiful Here Comes the Sun. Now, I did this about 3 or 4 years ago, but at the time I only had about 3 or 4 subscribers. So not many people saw it. So I'm going to do it again for you now. It's dead easy, this, really, it is. Now, I say that on condition that you read my idiot-proof notes that are going to accompany it. Because the only tricky thing about this song is being able to distinguish between some of the parts, because they're quite similar in places. So I've laid it out in such a way that you can't cock it up. All right, so the first thing you want to do is download your paperwork. There's quite a bit of it, but it's an easy one to do. And there's quite a bit of it because I've broken down every single shape, every single plec movement, everything. And you can do it in little sections that I've set here. I've suggested at the bottom, you print this page out. This is a little guide to all the bits, which I'm going to show you now. Print all that out, we'll learn all the little bits, and then we'll glue them all together, and hey presto, you'll play the song. Think of it like, when you go to IKEA and you buy a piece of furniture and you go home without reading the instructions, and then you try and put it all together and you end up with all little bits lying around and it falls to pieces within 2 years. Well, it's the same with songs. You've got to learn all the bits and then add those little bits together. All right, so how's that for an analogy first thing in the morning? Right, before I go any further, please click the thumbs up sign. That really helps the channel. Thank you for the donations to the channel that pay for my tea and coffee whilst putting these things together for you. As you know, everything is free, but the donations are very welcome. All right, it pays for biscuits and everything now. It's great. So thank you for that. Share whatever you like. It's all free on the channel, as I've said. Share it to your mates. All the paperwork that you will see belongs to me. So if you want to share it to whoever, you don't have to ask my permission. I've just given it to you. All right. So first things first, download your little guide to what we're going to do first, okay? And then we shall get stuck in. Capo at the 7th fret, all right? Now, clearly, if you find that it's a bit difficult to sing when it's at the 7th, which is where they have it, or George has it, then you can move it to your left. If I was going to do it live, I'd probably put it at the 5th or something like that. But we're going to do it in the same key as the Beatles, all right? Right, now here is the intro. So I want you to download this. Okay, you'll have it all there. Try and look at it in sections. So we're going to do the section marked intro, okay? And you'll notice that you've got a capo at the 7th fret, and just a quick overview for those people who are new to the channel, for this idiot-proof way of doing it. Any notes? These are your string numbers down here. Okay, your string numbers are here. Your beats are here. Anything you see in brackets, you'll play those strings together. For example, we've got a 4, 3, 2 and a 1, so we'll do that. Anything that says a 2 or a 1, we'll do that, or something like that. The arrows, which are important, very important, indicate which way I would like your plec to travel in. All right, it makes playing a lot easier if you use the right plec action. So the first thing we're going to do is the intro, which is this. I'll do that again. That's the first thing we're going to play. So how do we approach that? Well, if you look at your paperwork here, we've got a D chord. Now you all know how to play that. And below it, I'm going to put this down and you look at as I'm playing. All right. You'll see that it starts, the actual first beat starts on beat 2. 1 and ding dong. 1 and. Okay. That's how you remember it. It might sound daft, you'll remember it that way. Okay, so what have we got? Let's look at the the logistics of what we're going to play. We've got a D shape. Look at the down below that shape. It says 4, 3, 2 and 1 in a bracket. So we'll put our pluck above the 4th string and we'll come down. Then it says a 2 on its own, meaning the 2nd string on its own. Still with the chord on, right? Do that again. I'm drinking too much coffee. Then we take our 2nd finger off and come up. We know that because it says off on that particular string. Don't worry if you catch a few of the strings above that string. It's part of the chord. That works fine. And then put your finger back on and come up again. So let's repeat that. 4, 3, 2 and 1 with a downstroke. Then a 2. Then an up on the 1st string. Then an up on the 1st string again with your finger back on. And then a 3 with a downstroke. And then an upstroke on the 2. And we have this. Now, if you hit a 3 or a 4 by mistake, don't worry about it. I've just done it myself. It happens. Get used to the fact that accuracy, works 90% of the time. You're gonna hit different strings. As long as you're covered with a chord, you're safe, and the audience won't know. All right. So there's page 1 done. On to page 2, still on D. What have we got here? We've got 4, 3. And then a 1 with an upstroke. We know that because the arrow says it's pointing up. Then there's another upstroke with this finger off. Then there's a 4 with a downstroke. Then a 2 with an upstroke. And then a 5 with a downstroke. You see the way those other strings just blend in. So all together we've got this. And this is how easy it is once you break it down. Remember the modular furniture, break it down to its component parts. Get each bit in your head and then join the bits together. Now we're on page 3. Now you'll see a G. Now when you hit that 5th string at the end of page 2, that can be your opportunity to move into the G position. Now we only need to put 2 fingers on here, on the 5th and the 6th string. Again, the diagram will show you exactly what to do where the fingers go. It's the thing about the idiot-proof stuff. You can't mess it up. Shows you everything, all right? So there's your fingers. Look below it. It's got a 2 and then a 6. Now remember, you can hit some of the strings between those strings as well because you're playing a chord. This is just highlighting the main notes. So 2, 6 with these, just with those 2 fingers on. Up on the 2. Down on the 6. Little finger goes on the 2nd string now at the 3rd fret as per the diagram. Up on the 2, down on the 6. Little finger off, now come up on the 1 and down on the 6. Little finger back on the 2nd string and up on the 2, down on the 6. And then it says 2 open. Now I want you to play the open 2nd string, but again use that open 2nd string as a vehicle to get to the next shape, which is going to be an A7th. Let me play that section. Now watch my hand as I'm doing that. It's all up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. I missed the 2nd string, it doesn't matter. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Okay, we're on to page 3. Sorry, we're on to page 4. We've just done page 3. We see that it's A7th, and we've got an A7, nice easy shape. A little bit of movement going on, nothing you can't do. We've got 5, 4, 3 and 2 in a bracket with the downstroke of the pluck because there's an arrow pointing down. We've got our 2nd string played open, it says, so we'll see, bring that finger off. Then we come down with a 5, 4, 3, 2 and again, and that finger's back on. And then we'll play our 2nd string with a little finger added there. We know that because there's a little arrow and it says add 4th, meaning add the 4th finger. So we've got then a 5 with that finger still on, and then we'll bring this little finger off and we'll come up, down, up. So we're almost to the end of the first part of the song. So we've got this. See the way I hit a few? I'm just checking, see if you're watching. Hit a few different strings there now and again. If you're strumming, it doesn't matter. Get the main bit of the thing going. That's the main thing. Still on. We're on page 5. Again, it's going to be more or less of a repeat of what we've just done. Slightly different. Hence the quite a few pages of paperwork, just to point out those differences. But on D again. 4, 3, 1, 2, off, on, 3, 2. I'm not going to go too much time now on this because we've just done it. That's page 5 done. Page 6, still on the D shape. 4, 3, 1, off, 4, 2, 5. Again, I would use that 5th string. We're done on page 6, by the way. Onto page 7. Back to the G shape. 2, 6. Now, this time your first finger is going to jump onto the you've got to get into this. Bring your elbow in. Get your first finger onto the 1st string of the 2nd fret. So up on the 2, down on the 6, up on the 1 with this finger on here, 2nd fret. Take it off and come up on the 1 and down on the 6 again. Replace your little finger, put it back on the 2nd string at the 3rd fret. Come up and then down. So that section, that page is. And then page 8, we're going to come up on the half beat. And you'll notice on page 8, you will strike that half beat or an upstroke, all right, and you'll let it hang on for the whole bar. So that whole page is devoted to this. All right. So we've done the whole of the intro. Now the good news is most of that introduction is comprised, the chorus. That's most of the chorus as well, but slightly different. So this is what we've done. Comes next, don't we, folks? It's the chorus, which I've got here. Now again, you'll look at the little blurby thing at the beginning and you'll say I've indicated the different pages for the different parts. So now we're into the chorus, and to help you so you don't get lost, I've written the lyric across the top of the page, so you know if you get stuck, you know where you are. So let me get rid of these pages here for a minute. Right, so we're now into the chorus. Here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo-doo, that bit. Now you'll notice it's almost identical to what we've done. We're going to play. We're on our D shape. I've got to be a little bit sprightly with this tutorial because it's quite lengthy and I don't want you to get bored, all right? So we keep reviewing it, all right? And look at the paperwork as you're doing it. Make sure you pay attention to the arrows. This is the chorus. 4, 3, 1, 1 with your finger off. Put your finger back on. So I'll do that again. 4, 3, 1, 1, 4, 1, 4, 2. Now can you hear that melody pulling out? Here comes the sun. That's what he's doing. He's playing a simple chord, but he's enhancing the melody by playing those notes. Here comes the sun. I'll do that again. 4, 3, 1, off. Off as in bring that finger off. 4, 1, 4, 2. So page 9 is done. Page 10. 4, 3, 1, 2, off, on, 5, 2. And again, bring those fingers off when you hit that open 2. Now that sounded a bit odd because there's no conclusion to the open string. But when I play the next chord, it'll make sense. So we've got this. Here comes the sun. Doo-doo-doo-doo. And then we'll go to our G. 6, 4, 1, 1. See the way that 1 went down here? And then it came off. Remember, forgive me if I keep stopping and starting. Everything you need to know is here. So if I say something and you think, oh, I missed that, it's on here. Just review it. You can't go wrong. Okay, so we're on to the G, page 11. 6, 4, 1, 1, 6. Sorry, let's do that again. 6, 4, 1, 1, 6, 1, 6. And then we go to an E7th there, sorry. So let me play that again. 6, 4, 1, 1 with the finger off. 6, 1 with the finger back on. And then at that point, jump to an E7th and play 6, 2. See the with quick change there, using the open bass strings to do the move. On page 12, what do we do? We're on E7th now. Oh, we just go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. It's page 12 done. You can see why there's a lot of pages, can't you? Because it's broken down into idiot-proof chunks. And then we've got the final part of the chorus, which is the part where it says it's all right, and we've got 4, 1, 4, 1, 4, 2, 4. It's all right. And we all know what happens after that, don't we? We've got a beautiful little rundown, which is where most people would run away and say, I can't do that. Dead easy, this. Really, really simple. So what I would suggest you do is you work on your intro and your chorus. Get those bits in your head, all right? Get those done. You know, again, modular furniture. Break it down into component parts. We're on to this little run now. It's a beautiful little bit. Now, when I'm teaching this privately, I normally teach this part first, because this is the bit that scares people because they think it's too hard and I can't do it. And I'm going to prove to you right now how easy this bit is. All right, so we're on to page 14 and it says rundown. Now the rundown is this. All right, beautiful little rundown. What do we do? Now it's important to use the correct fingers for this. We're going to put our third finger, not your second or your first, your third finger. It's counterintuitive because you'll think, well, what are these doing? Trust me. Third finger on the third string at the second fret, and you're going to slide it, and you're going to slide it with this sort of pan and 1, and this is in threes, and 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. It's okay. It's this Indian thing that came in there. It's like that sort of tabla, and 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. That's the rhythm that we need in our head, and now we will pin the notes to that rhythm. Okay, so the first thing is we're going to slide from the second fret to the fourth with the third finger and 1, and then we will add our second finger to the second string at the third fret, and we'll come down with the pleck, and then we'll come up on the first string, keeping these two fingers in place, so we have the first little bit of the shape. And 1 2 3. Okay, when you've done that, keep your second finger pinned down and put your first finger on the third string now at the second fret, having removed this one, and then 3 2 1 again, down down up. Make sure the pleck is running the right way. Take your first finger off and do the same thing again, keeping this finger on. Put your first finger back on and do it again. So there we are, we've almost finished. And 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3, and then a little single note run down from the second string, starting with this second finger on the third fret. Drop your first finger onto the second fret, now second string. Play a second string open. Put your first finger back on the third string at the second fret, where you will then rebuild the chord D to start the next section. So we've got this. Into the next part. All right. So we now have the rundown, pages 14 and 15 complete. Now, if you look at page 16, we're on to verse 1. Well, verse 1 again, you'll notice now, you say, oh my God, haven't I played this before? And the answer will be, well, yes, 90% of it. You already know the song, most of it. So let's have a look at what we've got. Again, I'm going to move through it quite sprightly. We've got, you'll see the lyric at the top. This is verse 1. 4 3 1 2 off on 3 2. The off on, of course, is referring to this. Okay, again, forgive me for keeping going back, but just for those people who are worrying about it. There we go. Bum bum dum 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 bum ba, and it's telling you exactly what to do with your left hand. All right. Very, very important. This is why it's idiot proof. It's not like tab where you've got no idea what fingers to use. This shows you exactly what to do. Okay, so we've got, and then onto page 17, 4, 3, 1, 1, put the finger on and off, 4, 2, 5. You can hear the repetitive nature of this, can't you already? It's been a... And then we're going to go to that G section that we did before. Long, cold, lonely. What's next? Winter. Winter. Exactly the same as we played it before. No different. Back to page 20. Does it again. 4, 3, 1, 2, off on 3, 2. My little darling. Page 21. 4, 3, 1, 1, 4, 2, 5. It seems like... Can't get lost. The lyric is at the top. Onto the G again, but this time with this finger jumping into here. Shoulder, elbow in. Years since it's been... Use the open second string to be moving to what we should now know as being our A7th. Clear. 23 is done. Now, you'll notice it tells you now, there's a few little notes. This is where we get into the repetitive thing. It's telling us to repeat the chorus and the rundown. What does it mean? Well, the chorus is what we've played earlier. Here comes the sun. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Here comes the sun. And I say, it's alright. Alright, so it's telling us to do that. And then it says, at the when you've done that rundown, to go into another verse, you will play the D. This is page 24. 4, 2, 1, 2, off, on. And then you'll go into that A7th part again. Okay? Which is here, page 25. Now, when you've done the second verse and you've done the rundown again, instead of going da da ba da da bam, which takes us into another verse, we're going to play the A7th, but we're going to go into the second rundown. So we'll do the first rundown. We'll do the upstroke coming from the G, and then we'll just go bam, bam, and then it goes into what is called the second rundown. And we play that again very, very simply. Now you'll notice here, if 25A takes us into another verse. Da 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 dum ba da da. That's what it says on the little note that I gave you. 25B, which it explains after we've done that verse and we've done the second rundown as well. We do this bam bam, okay, which is the A7th where it stops to take us into the to the second rundown. And these are the first couple of notes that we're going to play to get into that rundown. What are those notes? So we've gone da da dum da da dum. Well, if you look at it, it says single notes. You're going to play a 5th string open, a 5th string at the 4th fret. Obviously, I'm referring to the capo, and then your your second finger will play the 4th string at the 2nd fret. And it's important that you use those fingers because we want to keep these fingers free to do something else. Okay, so we've got ba ba bam. So page 25 is done. And this is where it sings the sun, sun, sun part. Dead easy, this. 3 in a row, dink, dink, dink. It's an abbreviated F, all right? Or F shape, I should say. What am I doing? One finger here, one finger there, one finger there. A little staircase. Diagram will explain everything. It's all there. And it's telling us to play 4, 3, 2, as in the strings, 4, 3, 2, with 2 downstrokes and an up. That was easy. I'm going to leave my first finger where it is, because the next diagram shows it's still there, and this is, well, clearly it's a C, isn't it? We're going to play 5, 4, 3 this time, down, down, up. That was easy. So we've got this. And then this second finger has been moved up to the 5th string, nothing else, where it says 5, 4, 3 again, down, down, up. And then finally, this 3rd finger has been added to the bass string at the 3rd fret, where we will play a 6 and a 5. If I put those bits together from the single notes, starting to come together now, isn't it? We've done all the bits, by the way. It's just a matter of pasting them together. There's nothing else to do. Let's look at what happens on page 27. We've got very similar to what we've already done. 4, 3, 1, 2, off, on, 4, 2, with an open 2. Page 27 is done. What happens? Oh, we do this again. And what happens after that? It takes us back into the rundown. Sun, 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 here it comes. That section. And you'll do that until you get fed up. All right? You know. So we repeat that little bit 5 times, that rundown, da, 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 you know, if you want to play along to the record. Then we go to page 29 for the A7th link. What is the A7th link? Well, you'll notice that it's there. It says A7th link at the top of the page, so we can't get lost. We're going to do this. I'll play it first. Now, watch my right hand. All it did was go up and down and up and down. Nothing flash, nothing weird, nothing strange. The left hand was doing all the little bits. What was the left hand doing? Ding ba 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 ding da ga da ba 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 1 and 2 and 3 ba ba 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So we'll look at the diagram in a minute. Let's just see if we can do it by looking at this video. So watch this. Think of this in your head. 1 and 2 and 3 off on, and then add your little finger to the 2nd string, 3rd fret. It's on the paperwork, so you can't get lost. 1 and 2 and 3 up, down, up. 1 and 2 and 3 down, back. So 1 and 2 and 3 off, on, 1 and 2 and 3 off, on, off. And then finally up with it on, down with it off. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Let me do that really slowly. Can you see from this angle? 1 and 2 and 3 off, on, 1 and 2 and 3 off, on, 1 and 2 and 3 on, off, on, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And then we go into the next verse. So we've done page 29, 30, 31, 32. This is that bit we've just been playing. So we've done everything. What happens after that? It goes back into the little darling, the smiles returning to their faces. I'll just play it. Since it's been clear, here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo-doo. Here comes the sun, I say it's alright. Now watch this. It's alright, just repeat that riff. And again. It's alright. And watch this. And then end with the 2nd riff. Alright. Again, at the end of the paperwork, it says repeat verses, the verse that tells you where they are. Repeat the chorus, well, you'll know them. Repeat the rundown after it's alright, you know that. Repeat the 2nd rundown from the F. End on the D, 4, 3, 2, 1 with a downstroke. And it says good luck. Any problems, message me. Now, as I said, I did this about 3 or 4 years ago, and I'm surprised how few people have seen it. And I know why, because there's about 300 videos up there now I've done, up to 50, 300 or something. So it's lost amongst those very early ones. But this is a song that everybody loves, and they do. Everybody loves Here Comes the Sun. It's probably one of the most, of the Beatles, you know, especially on the Abbey Road album, it's probably the most popular song that they did on that album. And as the years go by, it becomes more and more popular. But I promise you, if you were in your house or at a little party or something, and you just started off and everyone's talking and you went like this, I can guarantee you that everyone will shut up and they will be watching you. And they know the words because everyone knows it, and it's a beautiful song. And remember, the only shapes you need to know are the D, the G where this finger will move around a bit, the A7, the abbreviated F, the C, and the G. And that's your lot. That's it. Here Comes the Sun. Now, if you get stuck on any of it, you are welcome to give me a call, but you won't. But the key is make sure you get the melody in your head. Don't forget the guitar is following what the man's singing. All right, so it's very important that you can play it in here, because if you can't play it in here, how the hell are your hands supposed to know what to do? Think of the modular furniture. I've said on that, learn each individual little bit, okay, and then join those little bits together, and eventually you'll end up with the whole thing. All right, treat this as like a little project, okay, and it's great because there's little arpeggios in there. What does that mean? Well, you're playing single notes to make chords, and all flash words for saying just do what I've just done. All right, so there we are. Yeah, once again, thank you for the donations to the channel. Please click the thumbs up if you haven't already done so. Feel free to share the hell out of all my stuff. It's all free. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe. I will see you again on Saturday. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I'll think of something cool. All right, in the meantime, you look after yourselves, and I love you and leave you. Take care. Bye-bye.